Hey,
How are you doing today?
hey, CeIC, it's good to see you. I'm doing great.
Are you ready to answer some questions?
Sure.
Who are you?
First of all, I'm Gene Hambrick, and I am class of 1973. I teach in the business program, which is kind of where we are today, but I'm also the director for the Center for Entrepreneurship, Innovation, and Creativity.
What do your students call you?
Gene.
Just Gene?
Just Gene. They might call me other things when I'm not watching, but just Gene.
And where are we on campus right now?
Right now, we're in my office in the Landrum Bowling Center, which is on the other side of campus. I have two offices.
What's one thing your students might be surprised to learn about you?
Oh, I think the biggest thing is that I'm a musician, former musician.
What instrument did you play?
I played piano and other percussion instruments.
What's one thing you've been surprised to learn about a student?
Several of my students know martial arts, including Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Do you know martial arts?
I know how to fight.
How did you get into What's your area of research?
As one of my colleagues would say, I'm a practitioner. And as a practitioner, I just get into various subject matters.
How did you get into that?
That's a great question. My background when I got into higher ed was actually in fundraising. And in fundraising, one of my colleagues over in the business school at University of Dayton asked me to come over and teach a class in entrepreneurial marketing, and that's kind of how I got into this business.
And what has your education in this field looked like?
So my background, I have an MBA. I have also started my own companies. But more importantly, when I was in a Fortune 500 company, a lot of my work was in turnaround, so I did a lot of strategic analysis and action. And again, I had my own company for a while.
What was your company about?
The company was founded with my wife. And in fact, we started a company that had two divisions. First division did executive recruiting, and the other division did consulting in strategic analysis and action. Also, we did some consulting as far as teaching, successful presentations, quality management, and stress management.
If you were an Earlham student, how would you use your Epic Advantage?
That's a great question. I would use it to explore career discerning opportunities, whatever that might be. And the thing I would look for is something to expand my comfort zone.
And what do you like to nerd about and unrelated to your field?
Unrelated to my field, I would love to get back into music and take piano lessons.
Would it be the same instrument that you played?
Yes, it'd be a piano, or I'd love to do guitar, especially flamenco.
What's your greatest professional accomplishment?
That's a good one. So I've turned around in Fortune 500 company, I've turned around two businesses, helped take one division up significantly to double digit as far as sales and operating margin. But when I got into fundraising, my largest gift was $3.5 million.
And what is your greatest personal accomplishment?
Okay. This is a personal accomplishment would be raising a daughter who is a great mother, but just as importantly, she has taken after me as far as the being a successful person in business.
And where did you know you wanted to be a professor?
Oh, that's another great question. So I'm an opportunistic person. So as far as me being a professor, I just took the gig to see if I could teach. And they told me I was good at it, and that's when I said, okay, well, let's try it.
What is your favorite class to teach?
Oh, okay. We used to have a class called Field Experience Seminar at Earlham. And that actually helps students come from their internship and then take that internship and get ready for their job after life after Earlham. That was too cool.
What was the coolest part?
The coolest part was watching these students say, I don't really know what I want to do, and helping them go through a journey of figuring out what they wanted to do as far as their first job or grad school.
How big are your classes on average?
On average. So I've taught as many as 54 and as small as 6. So the average is somewhere in that middle, but most of my classes are around 8 to 20.
And what's your perfect class size for you?
Oh, for me, 16 to 15.
When are your office hours?
Don't have office hours. Open door policy.
Oh.
So if you come in and book an appointment with my administrative person, I'll see you.
Wow, students have to book an appointment. You're on demand.
I am on demand, yes.
Are there research opportunities available for students through your department?
Yes. Finance, Robert Couch does a lot of research, so in the finance area.
What's one thing you love about Earlham students?
I love the diversity, meaning across the traditional diversity ideas, but the non-traditional as well. I love that about Earlham. Plus, they're intellectually curious.
What are they most curious about?
Everything. They come in with any and every kind of question, and they expect you to have an answer.
Do you always have an answer?
I always have an answer. It might not be the right answer, but I have an answer.
What's your favorite spot to grab a bite in Richmond?
Oh, a couple. One is Titera. I love Legends. And let's see. I think those are Lee's Chicken. The chicken pot pie is excellent.
Favorite spot is usually just one. You kind of named three here.
I know, because I'm a global citizen, and so I like just eating.
What's the hardest thing about being a professor?
Grades and grading. That's just.
No, you're not into grading?
No, I'm not into grading.
What's the most interesting thing you've learned recently?
Oh, most interesting thing I've learned recently. I think the most interesting thing I've learned recently is that I don't have all the answers, and I am willing to learn them and then try to understand what to do with those answers.
And what's a book everybody should read?
Okay, I'm going to give you three.
One book, Gene, just one.
Okay, I'm going to give you three. So one is Good to Great. A second one is The 7 Habits of Effective People. And the third one is Your Network is Your Net Worth.
If you could take someone's class at Earlham, what would you take?
Womai song. Anything with Womai on Africanism is you got to take.
What's the best compliment you've ever received?
Oh, I think, I don't like to talk about myself, but I think the best compliment is that I'm a nice person.
Is that a compliment you get often?
Yes.
Yeah. Ooh. What's one thing you'd like to see change in higher education?
Accessibility. I think especially for marginalized communities, it's really important to have a good higher education degree. They can't ever take that away from you.
What's the most rewarding part of your job?
Watching the students come in a class, start at one point and transform themselves into a different point.
And what's one thing you hope students take away from your class?
Anything and everything is possible. Carpe diem is really important. So I think that they should not limit themselves to opportunities. They should be open to many opportunities.
Do you think Earlham is a diverse campus?
It's very diverse, and that's what I liked. I've been at other campuses which were not Earlham. International, domestic, different opportunities for thought. Earlham is a fabulous place.
And what's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
To not say no to opportunities. If somebody believes in you and they say, I want you to try this, you should try it.
What's the biggest yes opportunity you've ever taken?
Oh, I've had so many, it would take forever. But the biggest one was when my wife said I would be a terrible social worker. And she said, you need to go into business. And that's the biggest advice that she gave me. And guess what? The rest is history.
What advice would you give to a student coming to Earlham?
The advice I would give to students to come into Earlham. I think Earlham is a fabulous place if you want to find yourself. You have faculty, other students, staff that will help you in that journey. You have paid internships through Epic Advantage to help you with career discernment. So I would say seize that opportunity.
What's your favorite spot on campus?
My favorite spot is any of the athletic events. I love going to any and all. I played tennis and basketball here. My dad was a football coach, but I love going to field hockey, soccer, women's softball, etc. I just love going to the venues.
And where are we right now?
Right now we're in what we call the CoLab. CoLab is a collaborative space at Earlham where students and faculty can come and talk about ideas. They can set up workshops, seminars, and it's just a cool place to hang out for some students to study.
What do you think is special about Earlham?
The specialty, and I've been at 2 other institutions, I think the fact that you can really build community. That's part of our principles and practices, of course, but you can build community no matter who you are and what you would like to do.
And why should everyone watching this video apply to Earlham?
1, we have outstanding faculty. 2, you can find yourself here at Earlham. 3, you can have opportunities to unfind yourself and then come back again. So it's that kind of environment that I think any student would love to do, curricular or co-curricular, or come trying to find your career discernment.
Thanks, Gene.
Y'all are crazy.